Hey everyone, so I'm going to adjust the screen a little bit. Hopefully, you can see me pretty well. Stefan is going to be joining, and he is going to be kind of more of my demo person as I talk through the postures. So, we're just going to take a few moments, allow yourself to settle in, get any like little accoutrements you need. I would suggest a block, a bolster. You can do, of course, like a Harry Potter book, or I've done Cooks Illustrated. You guys have seen me do that before. You don't have a bolster, I'm a big fan of using like a towel or a blanket rolled up, just thrown into a pillowcase. I got one hiding behind me over here. I got blocks over to the side, and a hand towel is always super helpful. You are welcome to also grab a drink and make a space for yourself. Allow yourself to settle into wherever you're at. I'm going to push this out of the way a little more and freak out my dog a little bit while I do that. So, come into a comfortable seat, and that seat can again look however it needs to. If you want to grab a block, pop your hips on a block or bolster. My little handy dandy block over here, sitting on the block. You can stay crisscrossed here. You can also bring your feet out to the sides. Maybe get a little hip hop like I do, and allow your hips to be supported. And we're just going to breathe. Inhaling, filling your chest, filling your belly. On your exhale, allow everything to settle. We're going to hold postures for a little bit of time here. So, with that in mind, we're going to hold everything for a minimum of a 10 breath count. Meaning we want like that slow, almost like microwave seconds to pass by, not like, okay, we're trying to hurry up and get things done. So, slow, even 10 count on your breath. If you need longer in any posture, as per if you've watched any of the other videos, you do you. If you need to take more time, take more time. You can always just meet up at a later point. That's fine. This is your practice. I'm going to keep glancing over to the side because my dog is tucked and looking really, really cute over there. But sometimes she makes like little snory dog noises that I pay attention to. So, if you need to use that breath to maybe take 5 breaths before sinking deeper into the posture, go for it. And I'll talk through a couple of different variations to make either the posture more or less active, depending on what you need today. The gear and the purpose of the practice I'm teaching today is to just think about breathing through your postures, and easing into the practice. We want to be more on that side of ease versus the side of effort when we're talking about a practice. In yoga, there's often talk about you're trying to find that space between effort and ease as you move. Effort where you're still kind of moving, but you're not gritting your teeth and sweating and, oh my God, this is horrible. I'm going for a 1 rep max on my back squat. But not so much effort that you are leaning towards almost taking a nap and feeling nothing through your posture. Now, each thing's going to be a little bit different. As most people who've taken a class with me before knows, I tend to be a bit more on the hypermobile side. So I have to tweak postures differently than somebody who maybe has a little more issues with their hips or their shoulders. So when Stefan gets up here, it'll be super awesome because we'll have somebody who has a little less mobility on their side to help with that. And we'll talk through different things. The focus today, especially with some of the sprinting that we did this week, and again, still kind of going along the theme of most of us are still not in ergonomic desks because we're working from home, we're standing at the counter, or maybe our feet are hurting more because we're standing on unsupportive surfaces. We have a gel mat in the kitchen that what is tend to be what's used. So focus is going to be just generally loosening up everything, spending a little bit more time on the hips, giving our feet a little bit of attention as well as the shoulders, but learning how to breathe through a posture and allow your brain to get a little fuzzy. And what I mean by that is taking a soft gaze. If you are looking at the screen, hopefully my voice is going to be enough to guide you through. However, we will be kind of talking and demoing as we move through the practice. but allowing everything to kind of be fuzzy, nothing really tangible that you're holding on to, just allowing things to be soft and easy. Because a lot of us have efforted this week. Even if you don't feel like you efforted, I promise you, you have. So, comfortable seat. Find whatever you need to. I think Stefan is walking by with a glass of bourbon in his hand.
It did.
So, as you're breathing, you're feeling that chest get big. You're feeling yourself grow nice and tall. And on your exhale, allow your shoulders to relax down your spine. Again, you can be seated however is comfortable for you. I'm sitting like this because it's comfortable right now. You can be crisscross, legs can be out in front of you. You can have your back to a wall and give yourself support. If you need to make any fidgets, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If you need to make any fidgets to kind of feel yourself settle a little more, make those fidgets. I tend to roll my neck side to side a little just to help settle in. I make funny faces with my mouth, just loosening up my jaw because I'm a teeth clencher. As you inhale, feel everything get big, feel yourself take up space, and on your exhale, settle into the space you've just created. Allow your hands to relax on your legs or down by your side, shoulders down the spine, feet are relaxed, holding no tension if you can help it. You can block it in the way. And if you are somebody who likes to set an intention for your practice, please take a few moments to set that intention for you. I know it can be whatever you need it to be. This is time I'm taking for myself. I am just moving today. I want, and that is something very powerful, is to acknowledge something you want in your life. I want time for myself. I want to chill out. I am enough. I am present. Or if you're somebody who doesn't tend to like setting intentions for your practice, you can count through your practice. Inhaling for a count of 6, exhaling for a count of 6. Just as a way to kind of give you something to focus on. Eyes can stay closed here, or you can take a soft gaze, allowing kind of the edges around your screen to get a little fuzzy so you're not really focusing on anything per se. On your inhale, just a big reach up overhead. Arms are going to reach up nice and tall. And on your exhale, we're going to twist towards the right. Left hand is going to come down to that right thigh. Right hand comes down behind you. This might feel a little more intense. Like I can already feel in my mid back that, sprinting uphill kind of sucked on Wednesday. Shout out to those who came and did it with me or watched. Molly, Brian. Husband. You did it.
I just wanted to be named.
I was talking about people who watched us suffer.
Thanks, Molly and Brian.
They wrangled Willow. So on your inhales, you want to think about getting tall, getting big, feeling as if you're being lifted up through your rib cage. On your exhale, we're twisting a little deeper into that space you just made. Gaze is wherever it's comfortable for you. So you can look maybe over your shoulder or down at the floorboard. You can feel a lot of stuff going on through the mid back, and maybe if you're really tight, I feel a little bit in my obliques right here. Feeling anything? On your next inhale, we're just going to untwist, big reach up overhead, and exhale, we're going to twist in that opposite direction. Be aware that there's a table beside me, and I could have really hit the shit out of my hand doing that. So on that inhale, you want to think about tall, big, lifting up through your spine, grounding your tailbone to the mat, and on your exhale, twist a little deeper. Squishy girl. We're going to spend a few more breaths here. Again, I'm going to keep looking at the screen. You can look wherever you need to. Again, do what you need to do. If you need to spend more time in any sort of twist, spend more time there. Our dog is going to sigh along with us. A few more breaths, maybe going a little deeper if you can. If you can't, that's fine too. If you don't want to, that's also fine. Sometimes there's this fine line between can't and want. You don't always have to want to do something. When you're ready to unwind, arms are going to reach up overhead. We're going to intertwine those fingers, press the palms to the sky. Just getting nice and tall here. Maybe a little baby back bend. Just kind of like checking out where your ceiling and your wall meet. Not looking completely back. And we're going to come down. We're going to come into tabletop. So I'm going to move out of the way so I can kind of be more of my demo person. Moving through tabletop, knees are stacked underneath your hip sockets, wrists under elbows, under shoulders. You're going to move through cat and cow. We're going to move through this at least 10 times. If you need more, take more. And you can start out gentle here, maybe focusing on how that upper back feels as you press through the base of your knuckles to get a deeper stretch. On your cow, maybe getting a really good abdominal stretch or focusing on maybe curling that tailbone up. If you need to get deeper into your cat, you can come up onto your fingertips rather than pushing through the base of your knuckles. Almost like you had a little cupcake underneath your hand. You're trying not to smush the cupcake. Cupcake games. You just smushed your cupcake.
I smushed the cupcakes.
I'm really going to say at least 10 breaths here, just moving through the cat and cow. And then as you want to, start throwing in some additional movements. You can start with maybe like little shoulder circles, chest circles, hip circles. This is really going to be about 10 to 15 breaths doing whatever feels good for you. So if maybe getting more of a side body stretch feels better, where you're pushing hips and shoulders in one direction, rib cage pushing in that opposite direction. Or maybe right now it feels good to go into a child's pose, and it's your practice. Do with it what you will. We're kind of more here to guide you and give you suggestions. I'm here to guide you. He's here to demo for you.
I give no suggestions.
Scooch out of the way a little bit. Another 3 to 4 breaths here. Just moving however feels good for you. And when you're ready, we're going to move into a puppy dog pose. So if you have a dog or a cat, you've seen them do this stretch, especially first thing in the morning. Knees are underneath hip sockets. Hands walk out in front of you. Neck and head relax down. Chest opens up towards your thighs here. Now, in this position here, we're getting a nice stretch in that upper back. So again, a lot of time at a desk, probably not set up how you're used to it at the office. So there's probably a lot of this going on. If you're like me, I'm spending a lot of time in the garden, so I'm doing a lot of this, pulling weeds. Nice passive chest opener and upper back opener. As you need a deeper stretch, you can press through the base of your knuckles to send your chest more towards your thighs. You don't have to. You can just let gravity pull you down. But if you need it deeper, think about pressing through your knuckles, sending the chest back. A few more breaths here. And we're going to add in that side body stretch. Most of y'all who have seen these classes are familiar. Walk your hands to the left, push your rib cage to the right. Ooh, we got a little poppy shoulder here. So you can go for a very gentle, passive stretch through here, getting a lot into that armpit area, maybe up into the lat and shoulder, maybe even into the back, depending on how it feels for you. Similar to puppy dog pose, if you need a deeper stretch, really think about pressing through the base of your knuckles. So like right where the pads of your hands are, and sending your rib cage further out. 3 to 4 more breaths. And we'll switch sides. Did you make an old fashioned? You made an old fashioned. And when you're ready, switch directions. Allow your hands to walk through your midline and then walk to the right as your rib cage pushes to the left. Again, take a few moments here. Notice how this side feels. If you need more, you can press more through the base of your knuckles, pushing that rib cage further out. Goal here is to get some sort of sensation along that left side of your body. Sensation being a good, stretchy, kind of not completely comfortable posture, but enough of a stretch for it to be like noticeable. We're going for a few more breaths here, and we're going to meet in a child's pose. So, child's pose, we're going to go knees together, feet together, so your chest has something to fold over. You can meet us here if you need more time. Bring your knees together. And allow your hips to sink as much to your heels as possible. Arms don't have to be completely outstretched in front of you. You can kind of allow the arms to bend. This is meant to be a little bit more chill. By bringing your knees together, you're allowing your body to have something to kind of fold over in order to help stretch out your back. So if you're somebody who likes to kind of go upside down on like GHDs, this is a very, very passive and like stepped back way of getting that big spine stretch. You want something closer to that at home, have a friend sit on your legs as you bend over the couch so they can help kind of pin you down as you just kind of hang heavy. Dinner coming back? Few more breaths here, hopefully getting a little bit more of a stretch in the back. This is also a resting posture, so at any time, at any practice, if you're feeling like I need a break, this posture is available to you. Take your break here. When you're ready to move, we're going to transition into tabletop, allowing the hands to come up underneath the shoulders again. So shoulders, you okay? I'm taking a nap. So from tabletop, we're going to move into down dog. Toes are going to curl under. Hips are going to lift. Just push back. Very nice, babe. We're going to spend about, I'm really trying for that 10 breath count here. So pedal out your feet as you need to. Maybe wiggle out your hips. Play with different sensations here. If your hamstrings are super mobile and you're not feeling anything and your heels are on the ground, maybe focus a bit more on that upper back. Like in that puppy dog pose, really focus on pressing through the base of your knuckles to send your chest back towards your thighs. I can get a little bit more into that upper back. I'm not going to push you. You can still pedal out your feet. You don't, if that feels good for you. If it doesn't, if you're on carpet like we are, you might slide. It's fine. It happens. We all slide a little bit in life. It's all good. When you're ready, left foot will step through between the hands. Back knee will drop. Low lunge. So in this low lunge, you can focus on either getting a bigger stretch in that front part of your foot or getting more of a stretch along your hip. It just depends on what you want to work on. If you want to work on that ankle, think about sliding the heel back towards your body and really pressing your knee forward. If you want to focus more on your hip, think about tucking your pelvis underneath you and really pulling, in this situation, that left hip back as we're trying to square up the hips. You good? You look tired. Good. And most of us have had long weeks. So if you're in that point where you're like, oh God, I'm tired. It's been a long week. It's been a long day. It's been a long month. This month has lasted for 15 months, it feels like.
Mhm.
Think about what felt good this week. And good can be a physical, emotional, spiritual, mental good. And when you're ready, we're going for that half split or runner's lunge. Hips will shift back, front leg will straighten. Stefan, I believe, tends to prefer more of the runner's lunge variation because it takes some of the balance out of the equation. So you can focus much more on that stretch. He's also drug a block to his left side to help support him and bring the world a little closer to him. Blocks, bolsters, towels, they're all tools for you to use to make your practice either more accessible or more difficult. Ooh, dinner's coming back to haunt me too. In your runner's lunge, I really want you to think about pulling that left hip back, pushing that right hip forward. And as you can see, what Stefan was just doing was playing with his toes. By pointing his toes, you get a bigger stretch along that top part of your foot. So if you are prone to shin splints, it is a nice little way to stretch out that little front part of your shin into the top of your foot. By flexing your toes towards your face, you're going to get a much deeper calf stretch. So Stefan is pretty upright in this posture. If you need a deeper stretch, you really want to think about leaning the chest forward versus bringing your forehead down. So gaze is kind of like towards your toe area here. We're not trying to make eye contact with your knee here. Good?
Mhm.
Big stretch?
Using his hand to take pressure off my ankle.
Okay. Do you need another block?
Mhm.
Okay.
Except for my cheek on the right side. So it's gapping it.
A few more breaths here. We're going to make our way into that lizard lunge. So low lunge will be that transition. You'll shift your weight forward. Your left foot will heel toe out of the way. Heel pulls in towards your body, toes point out. That's a sneaky little way to give your hips a little more space so you can sink down. So Stefan has come down with his forearm on his right side and is gently pressing his left knee out. You can turn this into a twisted lizard if you choose to do so. You don't have to. By going for a twisted lizard, you might get a lot more hip action. Are you feeling a lot more hip here?
Feeling it right in the corner area.
Yeah. And if that's what feels good for you today, go for it. If it doesn't feel good today, don't do it. Again, going for at least 10 breaths. If you need more, take more. 10 breaths is just a rough count to hopefully be about a minute to 90 seconds in the posture. I'm drinking his drink. Yep, sir.
Mhm.
Rye whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to be going for a pigeon pose next, really kind of trying to target that outer portion of the hip. If pigeon is not comfortable for you, do not force it. You can go for a figure four on your back. Stefan's going to go for a full pigeon here, or as close to a full pigeon as he's going to go. His left hip is popping up pretty high here. So I'm going to bring a block and slide it underneath his left hip to help bring the world a little closer to him. His heel is really close into his hip as a way to kind of keep some of the pain and pressure out of his knee. You can get your shin as parallel to the top of the mat as you'd like. This posture is not meant to be painful. You should not be feeling like pins and needles going on. It shouldn't be comfortable where you could take a nap in it. If it is, we'll try and tweak it next time I see you guys. Really thinking about pulling that left hip back and allowing that right hip to kind of push forward ever so slightly. If this is not, if even bringing that heel in isn't helping and you're like, oh my God, I'm in so much pain, I hate this, you can come on, bump over to the side a little bit. Come to sitting on your butt, left ankle on top of that right knee. That right heel can slide in, and you're pushing your chest forward here as you're driving that left knee out. And like, I'm somebody who can fall asleep in pigeon. I still feel it in this posture. This is just a nice way to make it a little less active of a posture if that's what you're needing today. We're at here a minimum of 10 breaths, longer if you choose it. Ideally, you can go for up to like 2. I've seen people hold pigeon for 5 minutes. I don't suggest it. My toes don't like to wake up after that. You get that weird, like, static white noise feeling in my toes. You good?
Mm-hmm. I don't think I'm ready to come out of this posture.
You are?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you're ready, we're going to meet back in down dog. So your back toe is going to curl under. I'm going to slide the block out from underneath 7. And you're going to press back into that down dog. Take a few moments here. Pedal out your feet. 7's pedaling at his feet here. Notice how one hip is feeling compared to the other. Just a few breaths here. And then we're going to come to laying all the way on your stomach. So you can move into that plank posture and just lower the body all the way down here. Very nice. We're going to go Sphinx pose. So if I can have you scooch towards me and then pivot to where you face the screen.
I can't see my hands.
So Sphinx poses, elbows are pulling in up underneath your shoulders here. You're pressing through your forearms, hands splayed out, and thinking about lifting the chest up. Gaze is more forward or down versus straight up towards the ceiling. If you're looking straight up, you're probably not getting a lot of good feeling on the back of your neck. By bringing your gaze kind of like where your baseboard would be at, it should help make your neck feel a little bit happier today. Maybe it's not super happy today anyway. Few breaths here. This is a super, super passive back bend here. This is meant to just kind of help open up the chest a little. It's a good one to hit daily, in my opinion, especially for not just test workers. If you are working in any sort of medical field to where you're having to write or work on people, because this is how we all work on people. It's just a nice little passive chest opener. Passive back bend, passive chest opener. We're going to go for thread the needle on the belly. So that right hand is going to slide pretty much up underneath your left armpit. That left arm can stay pinned underneath you or go long in front of you to where you're reaching in front. And you want to think about getting, there we go, your shoulders squared here. Getting a decent enough stretch?
Mm-hmm.
You need to make it deeper?
Mm-hmm.
That was an mm-hmm and an mm-mm. So he's getting a stretch, he doesn't need it deeper.
Correct.
If you need a much deeper stretch, there is a slight variation to where you walk up a little more and kind of stack your elbows in front of each other and really think about pulling your chest through to where if I'm going through it here. Both hands are on either side of me, so my hands are here. And I'm actively thinking about pulling my chest through as I'm pulling my shoulders back. Just another breath or two here. And we're going to do the opposite side when you're ready to switch. Move out of Stefan's way so he can unravel and re-stretch out. So that left hand is going to go behind. Yep. We're really just keeping the breathing nice and even here. This shouldn't be depending on who you are, you shouldn't really be breathing like even going for a 400-meter jog. This is meant to be a very chill, keeping the heart rate down, keeping things a little zenned out type of breathing. Not like, oh my God, I gotta catch my breath. Oh God. So you want full breaths, as full as they can be while you're laying on yourself. Get enough of a stretch going on?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. We're not quite done on our bellies yet. We will hit a few more postures while we're here, just as a way to make sure everything's like nice and open. A few more breaths here as again, staying in any posture as long as you need to kind of feel that nice release. You need to release earlier, release the posture earlier. Chill out on your belly. We'll catch up to you. A few more here. When you're ready, Stefan, you had about 10 breaths? Because I haven't been counting your breaths. When you're ready, just unwind. And we're just going to go for a full body stretch on our belly. So arms are going to reach up over in front of you. Toes are going to point down. So just a nice big full body stretch. And we're going to go twisted cross starting on that right side. So that left hand will slide in underneath your left shoulder. Right arm is going to make a right angle with your body. Roll over your right shoulder. As I move out of the way. So with this type of posture, you can feel alternatively more in your shoulder or more on your back, depending on if you're going for more of a twist, or even going up into the quad itself if you just try pointing your toes on that. If your left leg came over or your right leg came over, whatever leg came over, try pointing those toes towards your fingertips. It's like a weird little cue, but it helps get a little bit of that quad action going on. Our dog is exasperated with us, and it's quite adorable. When you're ready, switch sides. I'm going to move out of Stefan's way again. So that right hand slides in, left arm goes long, right leg comes over. Again, notice where you're feeling it here. Notice if it's much bigger in the chest, or maybe it's a deeper shoulder twist. It is whatever you need it to be today. A few more breaths. And when you are ready to move, as always, you can take the posture a little deeper if you need it. When you're ready to move, we're going to meet all the way back on our bellies. Yay. We're going to push up for a little bit more than a baby cobra, but not quite enough dog. So a typical cobra, hands are in underneath your shoulders, just gently pressing. Yep, beautiful stuff. Elbows are still staying wrapped relatively close. This is not a crazy back bend. It should be a little bit of upper back strength. But you good?
Mm-hmm.
There's no pain in your low back?
Okay.
Okay. A few breaths here, and then when you're ready, push back into tabletop. Move into down dog. Take 5 to 6 breaths here. Notice how your shoulders now feel in this posture versus the first and the second down dog we went into. Are your shoulders feeling a little more open?
A little bit. Mid-back was tight.
Good. My mid-back was tight as crap from today.
Like the point right between my shoulders.
Good. We're going to be following that similar sequence on the right side to where the right foot will step through between the hands and we'll go for a low lunge on the right side. So when you're ready to move, your foot will step through between your hands. Only 5 to 6 breaths. Back knee will drop. Hands stay on your thigh here. Play with whatever you need to. If you need that ankle stretch, go ankle stretch. If you need a lot more hip, really think about pulling that hip underneath you. I'm going to push my husband off.
Don't abuse your demo guy.
That's not abuse.
On camera.
Notice again. I'm a big proponent of seeing which side feels better than the other. So normally one side will always feel like you can stretch a little deeper into it, and the other one feels like you could probably hold a posture a little longer. It's not always like a huge night and day difference. It might just be like variant degrees versus like volumes of difference. But to me, it's just something fun to play with. One side tends to be tighter than the other, and it's normal. See what Stefan's doing. He's shifting his weight back and forth to just try and get a bit more of an ankle stretch because your right ankle is what gives you issues, right?
Yeah, it's crunchy. Listen.
Ooh, that's not a little, sounds like my ankle's going up the stairs.
Right.
So if you're following what Stefan's doing rather than holding a posture, that's fine too. This is just allowing him to kind of move out of the posture, taking some of that intensity out before pushing back a little further and a little harder. Because you don't want to hold intensity the whole time. This is not the point of this type of practice. This type of practice is to moderate intensity, a lot more chill. Got a very bad pun and a very bad analogy, and I'm refraining from it.
I love it. It's your class.
We're going to go for that half split or runner's lunge as you need it. This way you can see how Stefan sets up for his runner's lunge. So his lunge is going to be different than what mine would look like. My hamstrings are they're tight, but I have more mobility. So it's easier for me to get into deep postures. Stefan is using a block to bring the world a little closer to him so he can feel a little bit more secure in the posture and focus more on the stretch versus, oh my God, I have to balance myself. Because depending on the posture, like my hips are relatively tight. When you start focusing more on the balance part, you can come up into the posture, hands can reach up overhead and start going for much more of a yogi balancy thing versus really going for the stretch, which is what we're trying for today. You can point and flex your foot as it is comfortable for you. If it's not comfortable, you don't do it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Is this side tighter than the other?
Different tight. More tight in the ham, less tight in the calf.
And that's something that happens. Health check.
Health check.
And that's something that can happen varying side to side. Same posture, you may feel one side much more on the calf versus the hamstring. Stefan's feeling more hamstring versus calf. It's just flip-flop. A few more breaths. Like I said, at minimum, we're going for about 10 breaths here. If you need more, you take more. And the reason why I'm kind of giving that number is so you know, okay, I'm going to take 3 breaths to ease into it. I'm going to hold here, and then I'm going to take 2 breaths to start backing out. Or I'm going to go all in. When you're ready to move, lizard lunge. You'll transition into the low lunge. Just as your gateway pit stop posture, and then that right foot, heels, toes out of the way. Heel stays in towards your body. Toes point out. It just allows a little more space for your hips. And Stefan's opting to turn this into a very passive twist. This will help get a little bit more into that inner hip area on the right side. That's mostly where you're feeling it, correct?
And in the adductor.
Hmm.
It was very tight. Yeah, hip's good. That's getting a lot of the stretch right there.
So if you see certain people, when they go for their lizard lunge, they may be very, very close. They might be very tight or their feet don't have to walk a whole hell of a lot of the way out. If you are not one of those people where you can just kind of like sink, this is a good way to help open up and make a little more space for your body to let gravity pull you deeper into the posture. So on the flip side, Stefan's going all the way out with his. I can kind of come in super close. What?
Can't do that.
Don't worry. We're moving really into much more of that chill out posture where like the block and the bolsters are going to really come in super handy. Yay. If you need to spend a little more time here, spend more time when you're ready. Pigeon pose or figure four. Again, objective here is to get a bit more of that outer hip. That right hip should feel like it's pulling back. And as you're ready, you can ease down onto your forearms. This is also another area on a contrasting side. If you want to bring a block or a bolster, do you want one for underneath your forearms? No. Her dog is being very cute right now. She's looking very diva-y. She spread over a bunch of pillows with our wine glasses in front of her. Pigeon isn't necessarily a comfortable pose for most people. If it's comfortable for you, great. That's awesome. But it's also completely normal for this to be a pose where it kind of feels like you're a little bit on the Tin Man side from Wizard of Oz. If anybody, hopefully everybody remembers that movie. Hopefully everybody understands that reference. Staying and breathing. Allowing gravity to pull you a little deeper. And then another few more breaths here. If you need more time, take more time. If you're ready to start backing out, you can start slowly backing out of the posture. We're just going to come to sitting on our bums. So, right hip. What? Right hip.
Okay.
What?
Sitting down?
Just sitting down, sitting on your butt. We're going to start with that butterfly. So soles of your feet are going to come together. Heels are going to be much more in towards your inner hip. Wiggle around until you feel your butt bone press down. So you want to feel your butt bone making contact. Now, as you're ready, you lean forward. Hands can land on your ankles or reach in front of you as it's comfortable. Gently, or as an option if you really want to get deep, my hands can gently come to the inside of my thighs and I can press down. Pardon me. This again can bring a much more of that inner hip, so kind of vaguely reminiscent of what you would feel in lizard lunge. Getting a little bit more of that on both sides.
Both sides.
Good. And again, with pretty much all of our folding postures, I want you to think about leaning the chest forward versus bringing your forehead down. Because by bringing the chest forward, we're keeping that upper back from rounding and keeping some pressure out of that upper back. When you're ready, we're going to come to sitting up. We're going to go for cobbler's pose. So pretty much the exact same setup. Heels are just going to slide out about 2 feet. You're making much more of that diamond shape. You wiggle until you feel your butt press down. Big lift up through the chest, and on your exhale, you fold forward. Here's where you can start getting into a lot of fun variations. If you just kind of want to chill out, hands can walk out in front of you and you can just kind of allow gravity to pull you deep. If you need to leverage your body against itself, which is one of my favorite things to do, can I have you scooch a foot to your right?
Just
I'm going to demo something. Here we go. I think I've shown this in a couple of classes before. You're going to take your hands, I'm going to palms down, but they're going to come up underneath my shins. So my forearms are coming up underneath my shins, and it's helping leverage my body down so I can get a little deeper. Work. I'm going to get real turtled up in here and go for grabbing my feet as well. That little adjustment can take a little bit more of the pressure or the stretch out of the outer hip and bring it much more into your back. Getting a lot more back here.
oh yeah, there's pressure in the back, a little bit in the hip, like outside of my left hip. I'm feeling it.
There should be a lot less in the hip, and it should be mostly back. And if you back out of this and just focused on folding forward, it should alternate it to bring it back more into the hip. What?
Maybe I'm just not feeling my hip the right way. I don't know.
Are you feeling the stretch here?
Yeah, but nothing on the right side. Not the same. It's weird. Oh god. What left me from me?
You good? Or are you in pain?
A show of affection.
I'm gonna punch you with the right. Too much?
Don't go any further.
Okay. So if you have a partner at home that is willing to stretch you out like a pretzel, my knees are essentially underneath Stefan's shoulder blades, and I'm thinking about pushing up and then coming down a little. And my hands are not really forcing weight, they're just resting on just above his knee on his inner thigh. Back out. Was that intense?
It started getting weird in my left ankle. The left ankle never gets weird. It was weird.
Your body is weird.
Yay.
We're going to hit reverse tabletop. So, we're going to set up. Mom's on there. Feet on the ground. Feet are about hips width distance apart. Hands are behind your butt. You can go fingertips pointing out away from your body or in towards your bum, depending on whatever feels better on your wrists. You don't have a lot of wrist mobility, normally pointing out away from you feels better. We're going to squeeze those hips, drop the head back. This can introduce a big sensation in that shoulder. We're just countering the pose all the poses we just did. Just a couple breaths here and we'll break. This is more of just, I gotta open up everything because we just spent a lot of time folding in on ourselves. There we go. Now we're truly moving much more into that ease of our posture. I want you to grab a block, a bolster, or a pillow. We're gonna go for a supported fish pose. So, spin around for me, please. The block is gonna come long ways between Stefan's shoulder blades as he folds back. And you may need to adjust. Good?
Mm-hmm.
First shot. The purpose of supported fish is again going for much more of a passive chest opener. And allow your breath to start coming slow and easy. Since everyone should be looking at the ceiling right now, allow your eyes to close. Just really focus either on your own breathing, tuning me out completely, or focus on my words. I want you to think about a warmth starting at the center of your chest. Dead center. Opening up your chest, allowing your chest to relax open. Allow that warmth to seep into your shoulders, inviting the shoulders to open and relax down towards your mat. Allow that warmth to travel down your arms and out your fingertips, loosening up your hands, Feeling the wrists get a little loose, fingertips nice and open. Allow that warmth to travel from the center of your chest into your belly. Like you just had a nice sip of hot tea. Feel it soothe any butterflies you're holding onto, or maybe soothing any indigestion you may have right now. And then invite that warmth to travel into your hips, inviting openness and a release. Allow the warmth to travel into your legs, down your shins, and out the soles of your feet, allowing your feet to relax, toes splay to the side, holding no tension along maybe that arch of your foot. It's everything supported and heavy. Allow that warmth to travel into your throat, soothing your voice. That warmth will travel into your jaw, releasing your jaw. Especially, like I said, my teeth clenchers. Allow your jaw, your lips to hang heavy. Allow that warmth to travel along the sides of your eyes and into your forehead, easing any furrow, allowing the eyes to relax and forehead to relax. Now allow that warmth to come up the crown of your head until your entire body is feeling warm and liquidy. Keeping breath slow and even here, unhurried, not forced, but gentle and filling and nurturing. If we're all really quiet, you might be hearing your dog snore in the background. It's pretty awesome. And as you sit here, allowing yourself to be warm and relaxed, I want to share something from a poster I like to follow on Instagram called Thug Unicorn. Do not wish to be normal. Normal sits outside and waits. Normal doesn't believe that dreams can come true. Normal says your genius won't work and you can't make a difference. Normal says not to fight. Don't stand up and stay quiet. Normal is the same shit, different day kind of mentality. Normal doesn't transform into butterflies or grow back limbs. Normal doesn't expand its mind, walk its talk, or allow its dance to become poetry. Normal isn't game changers. Normal gives up when it doesn't work out. Normal lets everything come between it and the extraordinary. Normal has every excuse not to. Normal is trying to fit into something that's broken. Normal doesn't serve, but wants to be served. But the truth is, this life is, you are, anything but normal. And the day you decide to step out of the normalcy, you manifest the glory of what it means to be alive. So let me ask you, is normal worth it? I hold a very personal, very deep belief that normal does lead to complacency, like wanting to just be normal and fit in. I find a great amount of strength in people who are willing to own the ability to not be normal, to not fall into what the status quo is. And a lot of us, I feel, are like that. I also feel normal is not really true. Normal isn't fake. It's not true to yourself, and it's not true to the world around you. Be true to yourself. Be unapologetically and unabashedly true to yourself, because you're pretty awesome. When you are ready to move, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, maybe take a full body stretch. However, this might be the only time you've had for yourself today. So do not rush it. Savor it, enjoy it, take that time for yourself. You cannot give from an empty glass. Nourish yourself, refill your glass. Stefan's got a glass of bourbon right there to refill himself with after. So I'm going to end my practice with you by bringing my hands together, to my forehead for kind thoughts, my mouth for kind words, and my heart for good intentions. Thank you for letting me guide you. I'm going to awkwardly step over Stefan right now to get to the end stream button.